All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And what I want to get into with this lesson this morning is dealing with design, all right, for more. Design for more. And this lesson was inspired, by a billboard. As I was coming back, from Florida, being down there with those beloved brothers, and as I was meditating, and I was meditating on something, and I just looked up, to my right and seen a billboard. It kind of confirmed what I was meditating on, and it said "Design for More." It said "Design for More." You see, because we're designed for more, all right, than what was presented to us, in this world, in this age. Okay, our enemy told us that we were designed, all right, to be niggas, athletes, okay, the alphabet, okay, everything that our Lord hates, really just to sum it up, okay, the nigga woman, being rebellious, out of pocket, okay, hard to deal with, the exact opposite of what our power intended us to be. No, we're designed for much more than what this devil presented to us. Okay? Because this devil presented the degeneracy as prosperity. Okay? He presented rebellion as progress. Okay? But nah, man, we're designed, all right, for much more than that. All right? As we're the sons of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay? And you women are the daughters of Zion. You have a higher purpose than we have a higher purpose than what this world put on the platter and told us, look, this is what you're designed to be. His pseudoscience, making it seem as if we was inferior as a people. Okay, the scientific racism. Okay, which pushed the narrative that we, had a low ceiling as a people, and that's a goddamn lie. Okay, and as Israelites, we really don't have a ceiling. Okay, we're meant to be immortal. We're meant to be a representation of the Most High, man. Okay, of the Creator. You see? So as we begin to tap into this wisdom, all right, we begin to see that Yahweh Bashem Al Shai created us for more. Okay, and it's above everything that this world, all right, anything that this world has to offer. Now I want to get this word design. I get it in the Edom. And then get it in the regular. So this is design. It says this is the Edom online. It says to make, to shape. All right. It says to mark out. Okay. To choose, to designate, to appoint. All right. To choose, to designate, or appoint. Okay, so there's a lineage that the Lord chose and designated and appointed to rule the earth in righteousness, man. And then do it as gods, do it as immortals, man. You see, we're designed for much more than this, man. You see, we're chosen, we're designated, we're appointed for much more than this current age, man. That's why we should be dead to this current age and become alive in what the Lord has designed us to be, man, which is much more. Okay? Especially as the Israelite man, this world definitely tries to push you in the box, try to suppress you, okay, keep you with low self-esteem, low confidence, control you, manipulate you. Nah, man. We design, hey, that's why in Yahweh Shai, we the gospel song say, hey, we broken every chain in Yahweh Shai. Those mental shackles, those spiritual shackles, okay, that this society puts on us through Yahweh Shai, we break those chains, man. Okay? It says to draw, to point. Let me see. It says to fashion with artistic skill. All right, because the Israelites are custom made for righteous rulership, man. That's why us tapping back into who we are, it comes so natural because this is what we're designed to be. As brothers govern each other amongst themselves. Okay, as you have, we got order and structure set up, and these things become natural. It's not perfect, but we're seeing how, these things just flow for us, man. To judge situations, to, deal with matters, to, look at the world, and now our viewpoint is lining up with the viewpoint of the Most High because why? It come natural to us, man, because of who we are, because we're, let's say, artistically, all right, skilled. All right, fashion with artistic skill. And the Heavenly Father is what? The artist. Okay? The design Yahushua, then Yahushua design, us, man. Okay? It says, let's go. So this is just a quick Google definition of this word design. Let's see. This is design. It says a design is the concept or proposal for an object, process, or system. The word design refers to something that is or has been intentionally created by a thinking agent and is something you use to refer to the inherent nature of something. It's design. Okay, the word design refers to something that is or has been intentionally created by a thinking agent, the Most High, and is sometimes used to refer to the inherent nature of something. It's design, the verb, all right, yeah. It said the verb to design expresses the process of developing a design. So we was intentionally created, okay, skillfully put together, through the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Shai for much more than this, man. And this why we go to let's get some preset. Let's go here to like I said, even you women, you was created to be much more. You Israelite women, you was created to be much more, okay, than just a goddamn pain in the ass, man. Okay? Much more than that, man. Okay? To be out of pocket. And going back to us, man, that's why the Lord, us men, that's why we go through so much chastening. Okay? Because the Lord is making us tap into something higher. Okay? The chastening is the Lord challenging us to tap into something higher. The matter of fact, me read, it says, he that loveth his son causing him off the field of ride, that he may have joy of him in the end. Yeah, so the Lord constantly makes us feel the ride. And they're just dealing with this lifetime. Now, all the different captivity, there was the Lord putting a ride on the nation, man. And through that, there was a remnant that was constantly being refined. And now we in that last stage of being refined, and that's why often, we usually find ourselves feeling the ride, as the scriptures say. Okay? Which is that affliction, that correction, sometimes certain setbacks and, unexpected things and, whatever it might be, betrayals and letdowns and whatever. It's all a chastening of the Lord so he's making us tap into something higher. The affliction makes us tap into something higher. We have no choice but to tap into something higher, man, because we're designed for more, you know? So the Lord is doing this so he can have joy at the end. So he's constantly chastening us and forcing us to level up, man. It's all about the level up in the spirit. The Lord wants us to continue to level up in this thing, man. Continue to level up. That's why there's no getting comfortable, no getting content. Because this thing is about a continual level up, man. Continue leveling up in the spirit, so we can tap into what we're designed for, man. All right? let's go here. All right, when you go to, because what do we design? You know, to be. When you go into you go here, look at the book of Psalms. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 122 and verse 5. It says, "For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David." Okay, and you read this in the NLT, Psalms 122 and 5 in the NLT. "Here stand the thrones where judgment is given, the thrones of the dynasty of David," the thrones of the dynasty of David. You see, the Lord intended us to be a righteous dynasty, man. There are set thrones, which there's thrones and positions of rulership that we're designed for, man. And every brother in their life. And that's the thing now, tapping into what we're designed to do, tapping into our life. Each brother tapping into the gifts. Okay, that's the Lord, because even the gifts that brothers have, that's the Lord designing brothers for their customized office, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing that the Lord is establishing amongst the body, amongst his men, amongst his sons. All right, men, women, and children, man. Okay, because we're all tapping back into what we were designed to be from the beginning. Okay, so let's go here. Let's see. Let me see. I ain't got this in a while. See if I can find it. Spirit just hit me. You know, because it just goes into just a precept going into us being designed. Yep, this is it right here. I'm gonna get it. So you go here to the book of Psalms, same book, the book of Psalms, chapter 139. All right, in 14, it says, "I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well." Okay, you read this in NLT. "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." Okay, so when the Lord created, beginning with Yahushua, okay, he brought forth Yahushua, then Yahushua brought forth everything else, man. Well, he had a design in mind. He had a design of a righteous government. When you go to the first fruit, he was creating a righteous government to govern his existence forever, man. Okay, so this is not no light thing that we're a part of, man. That's why, hey, brothers, we designed for more, man. Tap in, man. All right, and you women, get out that bullshit. All right, and tap in. You designed for more. Okay, you see, we was made with the Lord, and He crafted us. That's why even, like I say, even, hey, you Israelite women. That's why I always talk about women like Katherine Johnson, Dr. Gladys West, man. They were just average, women, man. What they was, you see, they able to do these extraordinary things that no other women on earth was even on their frequency, man. Okay, no other women. You look at and go to Katherine Johnson, Dr. Gladys D. West, and there's more, because you go into a lot of adventures that make life convenient. There's the Israelite man and the Israelite woman that was tapped in on the frequency, man. Okay, because we were people that's designed for way more than what this nigga Esau. All right, Esau, he came in and redesigned us, man, with nigga culture, with feminism, with that's a redesign. That's a post market. Okay, that's an aftermarket design that this nigga put on us, man, is off. Okay? But when you go back into Psalms 139:14 say, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." Okay? The Most High's workmanship is marvelous, man. Because he designed us, all right, real particular. Okay? And we above these people. It's not for the sake of bragging rights, man. It's for the sake of being capable and being equipped and being designed for ruling the earth in righteousness, man. So all our people can win, the earth can win, the earth can flourish, all life can flourish, man. Okay, because the rightful rulers, okay, are gonna be in power. So let's go here and get this Isaiah 32:1, and I'll read it in the NLT. It says, "Look, a righteous king is coming, an honest prince will rule under him." Okay, and honest princes will rule under him, and that's Yahushua and the elect. So their righteous king is coming. Okay, Yahushua, which he was designed to be King of kings and Lord of lords forever. And those honest princes were designed to be joint heirs with him forever, man, for the sake of forwarding righteousness, man. Okay? So, yeah, just want to tap into that, man. Hey, we designed for more, man. You brothers, first and foremost, know that, man. Don't let nothing distract you or hinder you for tapping into what we're designed to be. Okay? And you women, like I say, get out that bullshit, that westernized American, counterproductive, okay? You know? Get off that BS, man, and tap in, man. We designed for more. So, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified. Till next time I say shalom, call me Ashala, a Bible, soon, shalom.